Holy crap. The Detective Pikachu amiibo is like 5 times bigger than the regular Pikachu amiibo.
Sweet.
The what
Yeah.
amiibo?
Detective Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu?
Yes.
I'll link it in Skype.
Detective
Okay.
Pikachu is gonna have a movie and he's gonna be played by Ryan Reynolds.
Was it actually Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What?
I remember people wanted Danny
It
DeVito.
sounds like an Onion article, but it's not.
It does.
Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds is gonna
what?
play Pikachu in the Detective Pikachu movie.
That sounds
I think they're
like,
gonna
weird.
make like a Japanese one and then translation or something. I have no idea.
that almost sounds like a crazy dream someone had, and they were like, "Oh my god, this needs."
I think
to
there
be
was
real.
a petition going out for a while to have Danny DeVito instead.
Oh
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu.
no.
That was when I found out he was still alive.
No.
This is episode 130 of the playonultra podcast.
Woohoo.
Sarah's not here. She's on Harry Potter land or whatever. I have no
Wait,
idea.
I have no idea where she is.
Isn't she in like Florida and like going to that
she
Harry
went to
Potter
Florida.
amusement
I don't
thing?
remember if she said she was going to Disney World or Harry Potter or what though. I forgot.
Wasn't it
It's
some
been 2
magic
weeks.
World? I have no idea. Yeah.
Or a week or whatever.
But Kelly's here. Kelly's back. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So yes, Ryan Reynolds is Detective Pikachu. This is old news actually. But yeah, how are your weeks? How are you guys?
Good. Very good week.
I actually
Okay,
didn't
this is
watch
episode
much.
130. What? Oh, I finally watched Neon Genesis. Finally.
Yeah.
The one that fucking everyone told me to watch.
I mean, it's old, but it's good.
It's very old, but it's still good. And God, I hated the ending. I really hated it.
Well, it's a kind of cliffhanger because it doesn't really.
I know because
Resolve
they
anything.
lost, not lost. They didn't have budget or something, right? For the last 2
Yeah.
episodes.
And now you can
So-
understand why you don't want to be a Shinji, because Shinji's the most annoying anime character. He's pretty high up there in the rank of most annoying.
Oh yeah,
anime
I wanted
characters.
to strangle him quite a few times.
Yeah, the reluctant hero.
So after I finished the series, the ending was so shit. I had to watch the end of
Movie?
Evangelion, the movie.
Hmm.
That one was much
haven't seen it.
better. Oh, really?
I've seen none of the movies. I've read the
If you-
manga up to a certain point.
The movies is just basically rebooting the
Okay.
endings because it was so bad.
Oh, interesting.
So look for the end of Evangelion because the first movie was a retelling of the last 5 episodes and 30 minutes of the new ending. Only 30 minutes because they didn't have budget again. And then they came out with another one that did another ending, and then the end of Evangelion just like took both endings and put them together, and it feels like a whole thing. It's weird. And apparently they're also remaking it, the whole series, into like 4 movies.
That
3 of
doesn't
them is
seem
out.
necessary.
Yeah. The creator wanted to have his real vision realized or something. But yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's like I binge watched it, so yeah.
I
I still get
Food
chills
Wars recently.
if I think of the drums. The
What
anime
wars?
Food Wars?
Yes.
Oh, I
Wasn't
watched the
that out-
pilot. I couldn't
That's
get
the one
past the
Sarah's
pilot.
watching, right?
That's the
No.
one Sarah was talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's because I read an article that described it as being so over the top to the point of like sarcasm, and it's also like equal across the field. Like it's not just female fan service, it's also like male fan service, but it's like it's so ridiculous that I find it hilarious, and so it doesn't bother me. I don't know why though. It was so much fun to watch it and just enjoy that over the topness, like because it's the same way that Gurren Lagann is like over the top crazy. Well, not exactly the same, but kind of a similar vibe of just being like ridiculous. In my
I
opinion.
don't know. It definitely is, and that's the main point, is that it's over the top ridiculous. I don't know why I didn't enjoy the joke in this instance, because I like Gurren Lagann, I like High School of the Dead, I like Kill la Kill. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I don't expect it to be for everybody. I'm kind of surprised I liked it myself. I just got addicted. Actually, I also respected that some of the food theory was more or less legitimate. Like
That's actually true.
Yeah, some of it
That
kind
was
of like
cool.
went way out there, and I was like, but then other parts I was like, you know what? I've heard of that. That is a thing. That's real. And I was like, okay, you kind of learn, you kind of get some interesting theories on cooking through this show. So there's a little bit of that. So it's not just like this ridiculous over the top. They've actually done some research, and they're taking the right elements of it seriously to keep it like interesting. So I think that's probably the main reason I kept watching, is because it was over the top and sprinkled with like legitimacy, I guess.
That's about right.
So what else did you guys do?
Well, one thing I didn't do, and I'm kicking myself for, I really want to watch season 2 of Jessica Jones, but I haven't yet because I'm still
It's
working
out?
through.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
it came out like 2 weeks ago, or 1 or 2 weeks ago.
Wait, really? Okay, I did not hear
Here
this.
it did anyway on Netflix. I don't know.
Huh. I didn't hear anything.
Am I completely wrong? Am I living a lie?
Let me look it up.
I've been watching Hap and Leonard still. Is the problem?
Yes, I think it's
Original
out.
release March 8th. Yeah.
Huh. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, that's true actually.
That's kind of weird. Because
It
I thought
doesn't
Jessica
mean-
Jones is like one of the better ones.
I thought so. I mean, I actually.
It was definitely
I don't know if
my
this is
second
completely true,
favorite.
but I think I like Jessica Jones season 1 better than Daredevil season 1. I don't know. It's really close.
It was.
And it's
It is
definitely
quite
not
close.
because of Jessica Jones. It's just because the Purple Man
David
is so
Tennant.
good. David Tennant, yeah.
Yeah. I know what I'm
funny.
watching.
Yeah. I did play a lot of WoW. Did I talk about Cube 2? I think I just started Cube 2.
Oh
since-
yeah,
no,
I got so
sorry.
confused because I thought Cube 2 was that game where Kim Swift made. Kim Swift, she made. She's one of the main people for Portal, and she made that.
Name is familiar.
She made that first-person puzzle game where you can change dimensions to like fluffy and like heavy, and
I don't know that game. That sounds pretty cool.
so like
Wait.
you pick something up when it's light. When you throw it, you turn the dimension into like something heavy to break a glass. Let's say.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure you
that's
know what I'm
pretty cool.
talking about.
Kim Swift game.
It'd have been great if
That's
their
not
name was
working.
pronounced differently, like if it was cube to the second power, like cube 2, but cube to the with an exponential
Well,
over instead. So it'd be like cube squared.
It is spelled cube with a Q, and I don't really know why.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about Quantum Conundrum?
Yeah, I got confused with that.
I don't think I've heard of this game.
What? I'm pretty sure you have it.
You think I own it? It's possible. You were describing a game that reminded me of a game I heard about that I haven't played yet, where you picked up items, and from the
You
sound...
don't have it.
Okay, from the sound, you could swap like effects between items, but your only clue as to what properties an item had was the sound. So if you picked up a cube and it went clang, you could like swap the clang onto something else, and then it would be heavy and metallic.
What? Oh, that sounds
Okay.
pretty cool.
It sounded
That
really
does sound
hard,
really cool.
but cool.
So, what's the name of the game?
I'll have to look it up.
Is it a first-person thing again?
Yes.
Puzzle sound.
Sound swapping game.
Maze
is-
sound? Sound-based first-person puzzle game. Maze sounds. Is that it?
Maybe.
Maze Sounds is a first-person puzzle game where you must focus on sounds that you hear. This is a labyrinth with invisible walls which produce sounds. These sounds help you locate the walls. I don't think that's it.
No,
I
that
don't think
doesn't
so
sound
either.
like it. Because that sounds more like echolocation.
I think this might not have been a full game. It might just have been like a concept game with a couple of levels that I saw on like Free Game Planet or Alpha Beta Gamer or something.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't there this horror game where you play like a blind girl or something using echolocation?
Probably.
Yes.
Like Blink
That
or
just
something.
came out, pretty new. Oh no,
Oh.
No, never
A couple
mind.
months, few months ago. Horror game.
There's
This is
quite
what we
a
like to
few
do on this podcast.
echolocation games.
Perception.
Yeah.
First-person narrative horror adventure puts players in the shoes of a young blind woman who must use her extraordinary hearing and razor-sharp wits to solve mysteries and escape a deadly presence.
Razor sharp wits.
Came out last May.
That sounds kind of. I mean, it's probably the game I'm talking about is probably lower budget, but there was a game super old. Well, okay, super old. I'm talking in relative terms. Like I think I first picked it up like 3 or 4 years ago, but it's called Capsule, and you're just like in a capsule in space, and you're like, it's you're kind of looking at a CRT monitor, and then you're just kind of using sonar to like see what's around you, and you don't necessarily know what the items are. Like some things are actually coming after you to get you. Other things are like mines. Other things are actually resources to like be able to get to the next way station where you can like unlock files and read more about like what happened. Because I don't think I ever completed that game because it was pretty intense, but it was the same kind of deal of like. It was really minimalistic, but it definitely got your blood pumping.
I'm looking at it on Steam now. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Very
not
minimalistic.
recommended
really
for players
cheap,
with misophonia. Yeah, it's $5.
Misophonia.
I don't know what that is.
I looked it up. It doesn't actually have a dictionary definition.
So it's for everybody.
Misophonia,
Okay.
literally hatred of sound, was proposed in 2000 as a condition in which negative emotions, thoughts, and physical reactions are triggered by specific sounds.
You know, like most people.
I feel like that would apply to a lot of games.
Yeah, misophonia
like,
is not classified as an auditory, neurological, or psychiatric condition. There are no standard diagnostic criteria. It is not recognized in the blah 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 blah. Literally.
I'm sure there's a very precise definition, but from that very broad Wikipedia definition, if someone like told me to go fuck myself and it made me sad, do I have misophonia because the sounds made me have an emotional reaction?
Well, there's also so many different kinds of sounds. Like some people can't stand the sound of people chewing food. Some people can't stand the sound of like nails on a chalkboard. Some people can't stand the sounds of like utensils scraping on plates.
God damn it, stop it, Kelly.
I'm just saying, like there's all those kinds of sounds, so that people just like it really irritates them.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, so that's just like it's a really broad term.
I had a friend who hated the sound of like a if you took a paper napkin and folded it in half and like rubbed it against itself. That was like his kryptonite.
Or a lot of people have this one.
Like a pen?
Stop clicking your pen.
Oh, yeah. That one isn't like a that's almost like a different kind of annoyance though. I don't know.
So not recommended for players, for everyone basically. Not recommended for everyone, this game. I think they just wanted to make it like, oh, there's a warning label on this game. Let's play it.
This game's dangerous.
Yeah, that's possible.
But it was recommended by Extra Credits, which is a pretty, Extra Credits, the YouTube channel.
I don't know.
That does like really analyzes and stuff. Talking about all these adventure games, I played a sort of a game. It's called War Games, and made by the lead person on it is Sam Barlow. Sam Barlow was the person that also led the Her Story development. If you guys know Her Story.
I know of Her Story.
I've heard of it. I haven't played it.
Yeah. So I really enjoy Her Story. I was like, ooh, Sam Barlow made another game. So I bought it. Mm-hmm. And it was also really cheap, like Her Story. It's like $5 maybe less. It's do you guys know of the movie War Games starring Matthew
Of course.
Broderick?
Would you like to play a game?
It's a remake of that movie.
War? Wow, interesting.
Yes. And you play a female protagonist nicknamed Lightman, which is her hacker name, which is the hacker name of Matthew Broderick.
It was Lightman? Oh, I don't remember
Lightman,
that.
yeah.
That's dumb. I remember Joshua is the name of the AI.
So you play a hacker named Kelly, aka Lightman, and it's FMV, live action, like Her Story. So it uses webcams and stuff to show the player visual inputs, like the visual representation of the games is like webcams, and when she talks to people is like on video call. You guys have no latency at all. Holy shit. And it's supposed to be it says when you start the game, it says your choices affects the story. Okay. And I've not had to press anything at all. So I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or not doing anything or it's misleading or something.
It's just
because
it's reading your brainwaves.
all I
Your
can
choice
do
to
is
play the game affected the story. The story will not progress.
all I can
Right.
do is click on the different camera inputs to like enlarge it, and that's it. So like
Okay,
So-
well that's a choice right there. You're choosing what to focus your attention on.
I
Technically,
thought,
it's,
I
I'm
thought
sa-
that
it's
was
a technically. Okay.
I thought that was it. So like there was one time where I hacked into this lady's computer or something, and I was like, "There's 3 videos to watch." So I watched all 3 videos, and they were like, in the second video, they was like, we found a license plate." So they are running through the system, and when I finished watching the third video, they were like, "Okay, we got a license plate from the second video. Let's use that." Yada yada yada. And I've never had to do that again. I don't think. That's the thing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong, or I'm not supposed to do anything, or am I supposed to do something? I have no idea. It's quite, and the acting is quite cheesy.
Well, that's kind of goes hand in hand with FMV.
Yeah.
I find. I mean, maybe not for her story. I
Yeah.
can't speak for that, but just generally speaking, in FMV games, the acting is like totes ham. It's just.
Well,
And I guess-
But in a way, I don't
It
think
could
there's any
be
other way.
intentional. It is a remake of an 80s hacker movie, so
Oh,
could
well,
be
yeah.
intentional. I'm not sure.
that acting was okay. It's a little silly, but I don't know. It's fine. I just remember
So-
a game called The Council had a similar problem. It's not an FMV.
Oh, really?
but it had a similar problem with Hammy voice acting in this case.
I'm really
And its
looking forward to
character
that.
Animations.
Oh,
I mean,
damn.
I think it was a good review. On the whole, it was good. They said the gameplay was
Oh.
fun. It was just, you had to get, I don't know, acting's a little unsubtle, I guess would be a polite way to say it.
Yeah, because I remember I shared the console on the our Discord chat, and I thought it was like, oh, it's like choose your own adventure type thing, but you also have like skill points to like,
Yeah. Like, so you're choosing dialogue options, and that affects, like, what skills you get.
yeah. So that's cool. So it's like a RPG without combat, I guess.
Yeah. It
So,
seems
yeah.
it seems really, I don't know, it's weird. It's because it's like a mystery. So
Yep.
I don't know. Like, on the one hand, it doesn't seem like that would be replayable. Because like I know who did done the murder, but the review was saying that because like based off of what skills you acquire or choose, you can get different clues. So I think you'll always arrive at the same ending, but you
Destination,
can
yeah.
take fairly different
Routes.
deductive paths to get there. Yeah, sounded interesting.
I think most replayable games are like that though. Most games
Either
that call
that
themselves
or they're
replayable
really
are
random.
yeah. It's either a roguelike random procedural generated kind of thing,
Yeah.
or like look at the different paths you can
Like
take
a Telltale
to come to the
game.
same ending. Yeah, in a way, I guess. I really need to play that new Life is Strange, the prequel. I mean, get that.
I did play Vermintide 2 this week, I bought it,
Ooh, You
but
bought
I will
it.
almost certainly return it. I played it for less than
Really?
2 hours. Yeah.
It's considered
So
like way better than the first one.
I played 3 missions on the
Okay.
easiest difficulty with a friend, and we had random people with us, so they weren't dumb AIs, and we got creamed on 2 of the 3 missions. Like, we didn't even get close to finishing it because some like it wasn't even like a bunch of enemies swarmed us or like one special like drew us out and killed us. It was like both of the times we got creamed, it was because the equivalent of a tank showed up and we just beat on it for like 5 minutes, and eventually we just kind of died. Because it's a
Did
troll that can
you-
heal.
Did you get rewards?
The one time we won, we got rewards. Both times we lost, we got a small amount of experience. So I ended the session feeling very frustrated and didn't have a whole heck of a lot of fun. I don't know. It just seems the same as the first one. Like,
And I'm looking to get it too.
there is a level up system, which seems kind of cool, but probably
the
not
loot base?
balanced.
The loot.
There's loot's the same kind of thing.
Oh.
I mean, if you I assume the loot boxes you open give you loot for the class you are when you open them, because that's seems to be how it worked out for me. Like, I didn't get loot for a class I didn't play, but it was a lot of crap loot that you end up recycling.
Before you return it, you should make a
Yeah.
video.
Well, I only have half an hour left before I surpass the 2 hour
Oh,
thing.
damn. Just make a 10-minute video and say, this sucks. It's fine.
Well,
Get all the views like your first video.
yeah. People don't...
People
I don't know,
really
I
like
thought-
Vermintide.
I thought
It's a lot of
my
fans.
first video is very... I mean,
Fair?
it's very, I thought it was being... I was trying to be a constructive criticism. Because, like, both games have really good cores. Like, I could see these games being great. But they just, like, fumble the ball in the last 10 yards. And people don't like hearing that. Like, it's perfect the way it is. But looking on their forums, there's a lot of not happy people either.
But overall, I think a lot of people are happier with this.
That's true. I think most people really, really like it. And I don't know why.
Okay.
It's a repetition thing.
You guys, what else you play?
Dreadnought.
Dreadnought.
Is that still in early access?
Well, yeah, it's still either in alpha or beta. I'm tempted to say beta, but it's a free-to-play game that's available on PC and PlayStation 4. I started playing it about a month and a half ago. I like it because it's sort of like a MOBA, but it's kind of slower paced and in my opinion easier to learn. The controls feel pretty intuitive, and it's just there's a lot of different classes of ships to pick from, and it actually does use some of like actual nautical terms. And then like you actually like the different parts on your ship, like you have a forecastle and you have there's like all these different technical terms that escape me right now, but you can actually put like that, you know how old school like pirate ships and stuff, they'd have a mermaid or whatever on the bow of the ship. I forget what that's called. You can have stuff like that on these ships too. I think so. Yeah, but you know what part I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting kind of, it's an interesting thing that I haven't seen before, and it feels relatively easy to learn and pick up. But I don't know, like usually I'm not into MOBAs, it's not really my thing, but for whatever reason this game like really attracts me. So I like that because it's also really easy. Just for me personally, for what I do, it's easy to like interact with people while I'm playing it. It's not like League of Legends where it's like I've got to be super hyper focused on what I'm doing. Like there's moments of tension, but it's not like all consuming for my, because like if I fly the type of ship called a Dreadnought. It's called the Nav, and so it's a slow moving ship that's kind of tanky and like deals a lot of damage and can take quite a bit of damage itself. So I move pretty slow. So like you can't like race around. There are ships that can dart around and stuff, but then, you know, you're just, I play in a slow ship. So it's all good. And then of course there's healer ships and
I did not know it was a MOBA. Now I'm interested.
I don't think that they ever call it a MOBA, but it's the closest thing I can think of. It's an arena shooter, right? Yeah, because you're in an arena and you've got like 6 or 8 people per team. Huh?
Does it have lanes? Oh, okay.
But
there's not creep waves, right? It's like capture control points or
does it have like
no.
NPCs for you to kill to gain experience or whatever?
There are some of those. Because basically the first team to reach the allotted like cap of points is the one that wins. And then there's different play modes. So in some play modes, there's one called like Onslaught. So each team has a command ship that they have to protect. Like you can destroy each other's command ship for extra points. But then there's also just like generic assault ship. Just kind of like circling around, and you can kill those for little points, but you also get points for taking out other players. Or there's just like a team deathmatch style, so you're just like working on gaining points by, killing the other players. You can set up a fleet of ships, like up to 5, so you can cycle out which ship you're using. So it's like, okay, I'm going to have a tank ship, I'm going to have a healer ship, and I'm going to have whatever other class that I feel that I'm really good at. And so it gives you a little bit of flexibility in the middle of a match. I think, though, that like most other MOBAs or team games like that, it is important to have a group of people that you're playing with so you can actually communicate with your team. The only weird thing that I find is that whenever you have a squad, like you group up with your friends to go into a match together, you can only group up in a team of like 4 people. But the match has you in a group of like 6 or 8.
That is weird.
So I'm like, I mean, maybe they're working on it. Like that's going to become a thing at some point. But that is one thing that I find kind of weird and irritating, that you can't like create a team to, unless you could link a squad. Like if there was some reason that they had to limit the amount of people that could be on a squad together, that you could at least be like, okay, we want to team up with this squad over here, so put us in the same match on the same team. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know what kind of hurdles they're facing. But I actually went and toured the studio because they're actually in Houston. So that was pretty cool, and the developers are really neat. So, yeah.
Is it slow? Like, getting the game to finish a game, is it like a really long game?
It depends on some things. It depends on how well you're playing. I want to say that a match, like one of the fastest matches I've played, was like 15 minutes. But then a longer match that I played might have been 30 to 40 minutes.
That's not too bad.
No, I mean...
I played hour-long matches
That's
before.
averagely shorter than League, probably.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely faster than League, and I would say just the way that the game plays, at least in my opinion, is actually less stressful and it feels more enjoyable to me. So it's sort of like, if that time is going, like, I might be misjudging the time that's spent on a match. So I could just be kind of in my own little world, like, oh yeah, it's been like 15 minutes. What, it's been 20? You know, like, I don't know.
Do you level up or upgrade throughout the course of a match?
Yes, there are tech trees.
Cool.
So you can have, you can upgrade the weapons on your ship. And then once you've like fully, because there's researching tech, and then there's actually purchasing the tech to put on your ship. And then, of course, you can also have different outputs on the ship. So it's like you can have... And this is
inside the match or between matches?
Between matches. So like you can set up, you can outfit... Yeah, you can outfit like A and outfit B. So like outfit A might have more like defensive properties, or, you know, a lot of damage properties, or outfit B might have, you know... So you can kind of mix and match a little bit with whatever modules you want to put on your ship. And then after you've researched everything, you can actually upgrade to like a tier 2 ship or a tier 3 ship, and then, you know, get technologies there. And so far, because it is one of those games where you can like purchase GP, you know, because it's free to play, so, you know, they've got to make money somehow. But it doesn't feel... It feels like those points are mostly cosmetic. If you are purchasing points to unlock your ship faster, or get to like tier 3 or tier 4 ships, you're not going to be put into matches with like tier 1 or tier 2.
That's how they do it.
Interesting.
Right.
World of Warships had a similar thing, and it had this weird problem where you'd like tech up from 1, 2, 3, like, yeah, I'm doing better. I'm like, my ship's just better. And you'd hit tech 4, and you get paired with the 4, 5, 6 guys, and you get reset back to being the crap ship again.
I know that there still are a couple of issues here and there, like they haven't completely ironed it out, but it's still like an alpha or beta, so it's like, okay, they got time, they're working on it, like hopefully they're paying attention to what the players are saying, and, you know, because they want to make it fair, they want to make it fun to play. Like, everybody knows that frustration of, like, you know, being a lower level and being thrown in with these higher level people. So
permanent upgrades are mostly cosmetics and higher level ships, higher tier ships.
Right. Right. But there's also hero ships that you can purchase. But from what they've told me, they being other players that are more experienced, it actually doesn't give you an edge over anyone else. It's just like, it's sort of like getting a golden gun in Call of Duty Black Ops. Like, it's just like, ooh, it's flashy, but it doesn't give you like a higher firing rate or a higher, you know, damage per second, or, well, that's kind of the same thing, but, you know, you get me. It does not give you an advantage over other players. It's the same ship, it's just looks shinier.
Ooh.
Or it might also give you an opportunity to gain experience faster, but that's just going to get you into the higher ranked matches faster. It's not going to it's not really going to give you an edge other than that.
So I can don't upgrade my ship and just continue playing lower rank stuff, right?
Sure.
If I want to.
Sure.
Okay. Sweet.
So yeah.
I played. I played a synthetic game. The twin stick shooter, remember?
I'm trying to blank. The game's just called Synthetic?
Yeah. So there's a new game that just came out. It's called Synthetic. And it's a twin stick shooter. But it's not one of those fast-paced twin stick shooters. This one, you gotta take your time a bit and don't go crazy with like just going in the middle of waves and shit, because you will die. And so you play like androids and you can pick up weapons. There's like a few different skills and other like grenades and stuff, and it's quite challenging actually. And
are you talking about Synthetic World, or am I looking at something else?
With a K.
With a K, yes.
Oh,
sorry, yeah.
okay.
Synthetic with a K.
I remember now.
You
I was
remember
like,
that.
what?
I didn't realize it was a twin stick shooter actually. For some reason, I thought it was first person.
Ooh, I like the art style.
So it's quite challenging. It has 2-player co-op, and I haven't played co-op yet, but the enemies have friendly fire on. So sometimes
I love that.
Yeah. So I've had my ass saved by enemies friendly fire, because it's not easy, especially playing alone. I'm not sure if it's gonna be harder when you play it with 2 people with like more waves or whatever.
Yeah, they balance it somehow.
Yeah, and it has a if anybody knows Alienation is another twin stick shooter, but it's faster paced, and it's only on the PS4. I really like that one. It's made by House Mark, I guess. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But that one has like a reload mechanic. So when you reload, there's a point where you hit the reload button again, where you will just reload the entire gun rather than needing to wait for a longer period. And this game has something like that as well. So reloading to and then clicking the button again. So you can. So it doesn't have unlimited ammo, so you gotta watch your ammo. It also, to reload, it requires you to eject the cartridge out. So press eject and then reload. When you eject, you lose whatever ammo that's in that cartridge that's not used. Yeah.
I always wondered about that from playing like
Yeah.
other kinds of shooter games, where I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, if I'm just throwing, wait, what?
I didn't notice. I was like, I shot a couple of shots. I was like, okay, eject reload, because I'm trained to do that in like every other game. I was like, you just lost 11 hours. Fuck. Okay. Let's not do that. And if you want to change your ammo type, you got to eject the cartridge first. And all of these, and the difficulty is changeable. That's not the one I want. Customizable. So you can remove the eject mechanic, and you just get like less rewards at the end of the game. You can remove this, you can remove that, you can add more things. So making the game more difficult gives you more rewards at the end, which is cool. I really like those kind of like customizable difficulties.
Yeah,
but
that's really interesting.
Yeah, but they do say before you remove the eject part that it is a core experience of the game. The eject and reloading mechanic is a core experience, so I just left it on. I kind of like it too. You get really panicky when you try to reload without ejecting your cartridge.
Yeah.
So there's like different kind of androids you can use. Some are tankier, and they have like different starting weapons and stuff. And you can upgrade your guns in between during each. It's a roguelike, so yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I recommend it.
Is there, like, how do you grow and progress? Do you acquire different kinds of guns, or is there a skill tree?
When you level up, you get like upgrades to your, because you're an android, right? So you get upgrades which you can place into slots, and the slots are limited.
Got it.
The slots are also so those upgrades are like passive skills, but you also have like active skills, which are like grenades and shit. So you gotta play around with it. There's like a limited number of slots. The one that I'm using, which is Guardian, the starting class, is like 6 slots or something like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's
I
all
think that's everything
played.
I played.
Yeah.
I played, yeah.
I played more Yakuza Kiwami, but that's it's not really new. It's too good though. Yakuza 6 is coming out, but I don't think I have the time to play it. So I'm just gonna wait.
Doesn't that game take a long time to get localized around anyway?
No, Yakuza 6, the localized version is out. So
I see.
it's coming out April 20th, I believe. Yeah. So the English version is coming out. It usually takes about a year. About a year to get localized. 8 months. So yeah. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
No.
No? Okay. So news time.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal Dynamics, the people who made Tomb Raider, announced Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 remakes, and the people who owns like the current Tomb Raiders on PC and shit will get it free. They didn't ask permission from the copyright holders, which is Square Enix.
Oh no.
So they
That's
announced it like
oversight.
a couple of weeks ago, and like a few days ago they were like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't actually ask for permission, and we were denied." I don't know why you got. Whatever, man. Oh, and right after the announcement of like, people who own the originals will also get a remaster. A few websites like, made sales for the Tomb Raiders, and a lot of people bought it just for the remaster thing. So yeah, it's funny. This thing is funny.
Ouch.
Yep. Okay. Zone of the Enders 2 is getting a remake for PlayStation 4, PlayStation VR, and PC. So if you've never played Zone of the Enders, do you know what Zone of the Enders is?
Mm-mm.
I know the name.
It's a Konami Kojima game, and it's a third-person mecha game. And it's so good. It came out on the PS2. The two games came out on the PS2, and they remastered it for the PlayStation 3. They did a HD collection, and then now they're gonna have the second one only for some reason. I don't know why they just don't remaster both of them, but whatever. For PlayStation 4 and PC, and it's really good if you like mecha animes and like mecha games. It's really, really good. Like, it's just really smooth, and you just feel pretty powerful. And the mechs have like really cool designs, and like I think the enemy is called Anubis. I can't remember which one you pilot, but it's really cool designs. And it's basically an anime thing.
Cool.
Yeah, it's coming out. I don't know when, but it's coming out for the PS4 and PC. So more people can play it now.
And what did you say it was called?
Zone of the Enders. Zone of the Enders, particularly 2. They're only remastering.
What was it
2
originally for?
PS2.
PS2. Okay.
Yeah, originally PS2. They did a HD collection on the PS3 for the two games, and then now they're gonna remaster the second game only for some reason instead of both. And one more thing. THQ Nordic and Nickelodeon will be bringing back selected game titles from the past. So the full list of game titles are Avatar: The Last Airbender, hell yes, Back at the Barnyard, Cat Scratch, Danny Phantom, El Tiger, Invader Zim, Jimmy Neutron, My Life as a Teenage Robot, Rocket Power, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, SpongeBob SquarePants, Tuck and the Power of Juju, Fairly Odd Parents, US only, whatever that means, Ren and Stimpy Show, and the Wild Thornberries.
They're bringing them back, as in
Bringing back games based off of these shows?
I think so, yeah.
I don't think any of these are good games.
Apparently, the SpongeBob SquarePants platformer was really good, apparently, or something.
Really good.
I can't remember.
To...
A bunch of people in the Reddit thread.
I wonder if it
well,
holds up.
It was a PS2 game, though, to be fair. Is it PS2? PS1? PS2? PSP? It has a weird name. I can't remember what it's called. Battle for Bikini Bottom. That is the
You know what? I've heard of that. I remember when I worked at GameStop, like seeing that game and just shaking my head, like, what?
So yeah, it was on the PS2, GameCube. I'm not sure why. Apparently, it says here the appetite for Nickelodeon content, old and new, continues to grow. Okay.
I was not a Nickelodeon kid. I did not grow up with cable, so I kind of missed out on this nostalgia boat.
I mostly
Oh my
watched
God.
Rugrats.
I looked up Battle for Bikini Bottom on the internet right now, and one of the shopping results shows a copy of it
super rare?
available for $234.
Yeah, it's one of those really expensive ones. It's a collector's item.
Okay.
Because Battle
Alright
for
then.
Bikini Bottom, I guess. I don't know. You gotta
No.
Battle Bikini Bottoms.
No.
So, yeah.
No.
They had a better, like, even if it was still wrapped in plastic, that's like a steep price.
That's why I don't buy all these old games and I just freaking play it on emulator. I ain't gonna spend $200 on like a fucking...
Okay, but
Yeah.
some games might kind of be worth it, like Dot Hack Quarantine. And even Dot Hack Quarantine isn't as expensive as this SpongeBob game. Just saying.
I actually tried playing Dot Hack.
Mm-hmm.
It was very grindy, if I remember correctly.
It is grindy, but
And
I
repetitive.
found it interesting just because there was like a dual element. Like you could go and play the game, but then you could come back and like check your computer messages, and it just
Yeah, I did like that one.
that's
the one with
what
Kite,
made
right?
it interesting enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The guy with the red garb. The red...
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the kind of person that would just look up and be like, what are the interesting zone combinations? Because I'm not gonna sit there for 3 hours being like, let's try this word, this word, this word. Let's try that word, that word, that. Like, no. Like, that's not my thing. But
I did play quite a lot, though. Even though I say it was grindy, I did play quite a lot of it, so...
I got stuck on that one boss in the first game, and I guess I didn't level my character properly, and I just had to put it down. I was like, okay. But I'm gonna play it again. Hopefully, now that I'm older and have more experience with character building, I'll
Yeah,
avoid the same
all
pitfall.
JRPGs tend to have a if you're under leveled, you're fucking screwed because you can't backtrack problem.
Right. I had that problem with Final Fantasy X as well.
I had that problem with Suikoden 3. Couldn't finish it, but I just finished it like a couple years ago when I was older because I knew I fucked up. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, did you play? Oh, do you know about that new Dot Hack game? Remaster? Was it a remaster or something?
I'm not sure.
There's a new Dot Hack for the PS4.
Okay.
Dot Hack GU Last Recode, and it's also for PC. Okay, hold on. Dot Hack Last Recode. God damn. Steam. Okay, it's $50, and you get it's like a bunch of the games. I just want to know which games. Okay, this collection includes all 3 original Dot Hack GU titles: Rebirth, Reminisce, and Redemption, all fully restored and remastered, as well as an all-new exclusive 4th volume Dot Hack GU Reconnection. Thought you might be interested in that. So on PS4 and PC, on Steam. But I don't think you play as Kite. This is the one after Kite, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was watching the anime, I was really interested in the one that had Kite. Although, the Dot Hack games actually did come with DVDs, anime DVDs. And it wasn't Kite. It was this other thing, but it was like a 4-disc part series. And all the other 3 copies that I have, like the first 3, it has that anime DVD. And I'm like, oh, come on, what are the odds that I could get the 4th one, which is the hardest one to find, with the DVD functional, so I can actually watch the whole series.
Was this the first media franchise of that? Not like overall, but in like Japanese, where it's like the MMO thing. You know, like Sword Art. What is it called?
Sword Art
Sword Art
Online.
Online.
Dot Hack was the first one to do it. Was it?
It was the first one I was aware of,
That was the first one I was aware of. Yeah.
but probably not. I don't know. Probably some Ray Bradbury book or something before that.
No, I just
are you talking
mainly like
about-
Japanese stuff, Japanese media.
Oh,
Are you talking about Dot Hack GU?
You mean the remaster stuff on Steam? and PS4.
Yeah, because that's the only one I found.
Yeah,
Okay,
.NET Lost Record comes with 4 games for $50.
Nice. Yeah. Now, I tried to look up that Invader Zim game that you mentioned, and all I found was Nickelodeon Party Blast, and I don't consider that an Invader Zim game. He's just like a character you can play.
Yeah, they could make new games based on old properties, or maybe remaster sound. I have no idea.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't care. They have Avatar on the list, so I'm gonna get that. I know. So I really need to force my girlfriend to watch that.
Yes.
Because she has like really specific tastes. She made me watch Evangelion. I enjoyed it, but still, she made me watch Evangelion, so I'm gonna make her watch Avatar. So yeah, I have not much news apart from all that really weird stuff that I just mentioned. You guys have anything you wanna bring up GDC or anything?
Yeah, we could talk about that. I mean, I
have no idea how
cursory...
unions work anyway, so...
Well, my very bare bones understanding of the union is basically the whole point that you start a union is to avoid like inhumane working conditions, because from the article that I read, it was talking about how some people were actually having to pull a 100-hour work week, and that workers are being pushed to like emotional breaking points. And I'm sure that's true for some people, but I think that for others, their workload might not be quite that much. And they're so passionate about what they're doing, and maybe they are being properly compensated, but then like according to, the law or the powers that be, it's like, oh no, you can't have people like work that much. That's just like, that's out of control. It's not right, but I feel that's the catch-22 with unions, because it's important to have a union sometimes if it's a commonly exploited field, which game development is definitely one of those fields that's rife with exploitation. But then on the flip side, if you put too much power into a union, or if you orchestrate it the wrong way, you can actually do damage to an industry. I mean, it's happened before. So it's like any tool, if you have a hammer, you can use it to beat someone in the face, or you can use it to build a house. So like it's all about choosing like, okay, how are we going to properly use this tool so that it's fair on both sides, and it's going to benefit the most amount of people.
Do you guys have laws when it comes to like how many vacation days per year a company needs to give you and stuff, like base minimum?
Is there a minimum?
Sick days, vacation days?
I don't think so.
I think it just depends on the company. Yeah, it depends on the company and what their
which is the fucked up part, because depending on companies is not really something you should do.
It's weird. Like
we actually have labor law here, like base number of days, like sick days, vacation days a company must give. And a lot of companies, when it comes to like lower rank jobs, they just add the base minimum, but at least there's still a base minimum, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, from my experience of being in the workforce, I mean, I come from like a service industry type job, where if I get sick and call in, like, I usually don't have a lot of trouble. Like, I don't think I've ever been threatened to be fired because I wanted to call in sick. Like, it's never, or I've never felt that. Like, of course, they would never expressly say it, but I've never felt like, oh, I can't call in sick or I might lose my job. Like, that's never been a fear of mine. It's more like, well, I could call in sick, but like, how sick am I? Do I want to go ahead and go and work anyway because I need to make money? So it's, I don't know that there's been a lot of issues. Like, I haven't heard a lot of reported issues of like, oh, people get sick and then they can't call in. I feel like for the most part, businesses are pretty understanding. At least that's just from my experience and from my circle of people. I haven't heard people complaining about stuff like that. So it just depends on the company. A lot of companies want you to work somewhere for at least a year before they're going to give you like paid vacation. So, it's like there's different things, but I personally, as a worker, don't feel like, because you can also ask for time off. If you're like, hey, you know what, boss, I'm feeling really stressed, just need to take some time. You can take time. It might be it's probably going to be unpaid, but like if you're just upfront with them, unless it's like a really shitty company, they're going to be like, okay, you know what, take some time, take a few days, take a week. Like I've actually done that with my boss. I mean, I'm working at a local business. So that's also a very, very different dynamic if you're working with directly with the owners of the business as opposed to like, a fast food chain or something.
Yeah.
But even then, I find that a lot of businesses are willing to work with their employees. I mean, so it's like there's both sides. You're going to find areas where people are exploited or, they might feel threatened.
And that's where unions come in.
Right. That's where the unions come in. And also, generally speaking, when stuff like that is found out, people tend to boycott that industry or they just won't work there and they'll work somewhere else. Unfortunately, it's not that easy because people feel that they don't have a choice. Like they have to, because they have kids or, they don't have credentials for something better or whatever, what have you. But I haven't heard a lot of outcry about that personally, but I think people are really distracted with other issues at this time. A little bit.
I wonder what the average person in the gaming industry, when it comes to like not like marketing but the production side of things, like how much they make, because the industry has an issue of like a lot of people want the jobs but because of passion, because they love video games and stuff, so I'm not sure if it's exploited in the salary sense.
Well, yeah, because and this is, I mean, if you just look at artwork as one branch of an example, and this is artwork just in general, where you have people where it's a really competitive market, right? So there's tons of people that want to be an artist, and some people are really good, so they have, they spent a lot of time developing their craft. Maybe they've taken classes and courses to learn, to use the tools like on the computer or whatever. And so like it's perfectly legitimate for them to charge, higher prices, but then it's super competitive. So someone might just go to a less expensive artist. So people are kind of undermining each other in that sense. So it's like, well, I could go to Joe and he's going to charge me $50 for whatever, part of the project he's going to work on. But then Steve over here will do it for $40. So
fucking Steve.
And then you have people that feel so desperate, like, well, I don't have a choice. I've never done anything before. And I want to get some exposure. I want to get some experience. And unfortunately, that's a lie. That's a lie that a lot of people fall for. And I think people are stalling. I think people are starting to wake up to it.
That's good.
But it's one thing if it's like you and your friend and you're like, hey, you know what, let's try to make a game and let's see if it takes off. And, who knows, let's just do this for fun and see if we even like it or just spread our wings. Let's see what happens. And those kind of projects, fine. But then you have the issue where you've got an internship. I mean, it actually happened to me as a video editor. I did work for this one company. It's super small, just 2 guys running the whole thing. And they wanted me to do video editing work. And they were like, okay, yeah. So we signed an agreement saying that I would earn in perpetuity, like as the channel grew and all this other stuff. And after so many months, I was like, okay, so, I'm not expecting a paycheck because I know that like we started from the ground up. So like we had like almost nobody knew about us. It was a whole new line of stuff that we were doing. So I knew that if I had earned anything, it was going to be pennies or like $1. But I didn't care. I was just like, so, tell me where we're at. Like, how is the channel doing? How much have I earned? I'm not asking for a paycheck. I just want to see like how's that chart
Some
going?
Kind of growth or anything, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how are we doing? And they just kind of would sidestep me. They would dodge the question and they would be like, oh, we'll talk to my associate. And then the associate would be like, well, I'm waiting to hear from the other guy. And I was like, wow. So I walked. I was like, okay, I learned from that experience.
Yeah.
But that definitely happens where they'll just kind of slough you off and they don't treat people with respect or they just are like, oh, well, it'll be great experience for you.
Yeah. My experience with that was mostly with writing, because back when I was do game reviews, like writing game reviews and stuff, and they wanted they weren't gonna give me the copy of the game, so I had to buy that myself. And they weren't gonna pay me, so they're like, oh, exposure. I'm like, fuck you, basically. So
Yeah, it's like, no, that's just free exposure for you guys. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
and I have to buy the game. Fuck you.
I know. I feel like that's the least thing you could do. Like,
least,
if
yeah.
you're not like, I don't know, New York Times or some major publisher where, okay, they do get a lot of eyeballs.
Yeah.
If they felt like, yeah, we could get some exposure from this person playing the game, then, at least, like, maybe if it's a smaller independent company
Yeah.
and they can't afford to give away a copy, be like, hey, here's a 50% discount. Like, we can't give you the game for free. I'm sorry, but here's something like make some kind of deal where both sides benefit, other than just like, oh yeah, you're going to buy the game and, and this, and we're not going to pay you for your, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens both directions too, because you'll get reviewers contacting video game people saying, hey, if you give me the game for free, I'll give you exposure with my review. It's like, yeah, no, you won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a double-edged sword. Both sides have to be considered, absolutely.
Yep.
I don't know,
So,
my
yeah.
work's a little weird and different because, like, not to boast, I get unlimited vacation time, but my work has done an incredibly good job of creating an environment where nobody wants to take vacation. Like, I think I took less than 2 weeks last year.
Isn't that like a very American thing though? As
Yeah,
far as
I
I
guess
know, it's like, oh, you took vacation. What are you, a pussy or something?
Maybe. I think part of it's because we're for
I
a
don't
startup,
know.
so everyone's just, like, really...
Oh yeah, that's
just a
another thing. Startup
face of the
environments are quite
grindstone.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at
Does
how
your boss
some
wear a
other
turtleneck?
There's a what?
Does your boss wears a turtleneck?
No.
I mean, if you look in history and you look at some of the other companies that's got started, like Microsoft or Apple. I mean, Apple is a really good example. They started out of a garage. That was definitely a passion project. Or you look at
Well,
Doom, and
I think most companies start in garages. Just a lot of them fail in garages.
right, yeah, I know, no, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, at some point, like, if you're starting something and you're on your own and
Sure.
you don't have a lot
You
of
get passionate
resources,
people.
then you're going to have to sweat. You're like, okay, guys, here's the risk. We might not make it. We might spend a lot of time doing this and, go bankrupt. But I think the difference is being upfront with that. Like, okay, guys, here's, and transparency. And then like, okay, full disclosure, you have to decide if you're willing to risk whatever you're going to put into this. And that's where I think, is a healthy boundary, instead of being like, yeah, it's going to be great, we're going to make lots of money and like whatever, and lying about, investors or public interest. That's where that gets sticky.
Yeah,
but
but to be fair, those who have to make that decision are usually the people who are so early that they're like part of ownership of the company, and if the company do grow, they get a lot of money out of it. But it's like when you're already a big company, and then you're still doing that to your employees, I think it's a different story, because the employees are not gonna get
That's
shit.
probably true.
They're not gonna like get shares or anything. But the first 20 people who started with the company in the garage or whatever,
First few hundred.
maybe.
I have a lot of shares. As an employee, like about 100.
Wasn't Steve Ballmer was like an early, wasn't he? Steve Ballmer, the Microsoft guy who fucking owns the Los Angeles Clippers now.
You're saying he was a what? He got his money from a startup? Initially?
No, he was the guy from Microsoft, right? He was in early or something? No? Or was he like
in my
made
company?
CEO? Microsoft.
Or into Microsoft itself?
Steve
I don't
Ballmer. The guy who like sweats a lot in conferences and shouts.
Maybe.
Do you not know who Steve Ballmer is?
I don't.
I'm
I also
laughing
don't
'cause
know
you-
Microsoft's corporate history.
the way you described that guy just immediately made me think of like a League of Legends player or a WoW player, like sweats a lot and yells. Like,
He's a heavy dude. Whenever there's like a Microsoft conference, right? He will go onto
I've
stage
never
and like,
watched a Microsoft.
and but he's a meme though. He's a really
Okay.
popular meme. Like he just shouts, and it's like his back and his chest is all wet because he's wearing like a dress shirt and everything.
That sounds
It's just,
gross.
Yeah,
no
it is
idea.
I've seen the guy who you're describing who fits that description who works for Nintendo. He's not wet, but he's big and he
It's
yells.
not wet. This just in. Nintendo executive is not wet.
And he's an executive.
are you
He's the
talking about,
American
Reggie?
liaison. Reggie, that's what I'm thinking of.
Fils-Aimé?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
He
there's
doesn't
very
seem
different
mean.
levels of energies. Like
I
Reggie
see.
is like Steve Ballmer is like Speedy Gonzalez or some shit. Just really big.
I see.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah. Anything else?
I think Pacific Rim 2 comes out this weekend.
What?
Pacific Rim 2 is coming out soon.
What day is it today? Oh yeah, it's out here.
I
Is it
think
not
it's
out
out
yet?
here today.
Oh man, I totally forgot about that. Shit.
Yes, there are movie times right now.
Oh,
I've
no.
heard so the one review I
no.
glanced over said it wasn't very good, but it was entertaining still.
48% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
How?
Because Guillermo del Toro is not really involved. He just produced it. He didn't direct it or film it or do any actual work on it.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Maybe he was too busy with
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. Yeah.
Yep.
Aw. Still gonna watch it though. Fuck that.
I don't know for sure that I'll see it in theaters. There's nothing in theaters right now, honestly, that I even
Yeah.
care about a little bit. Other than
Well,
that,
Infinity War is coming up.
that'll be interesting. Do you guys think I have to see Spider-Man before I see Infinity War? Like, is there stuff in
No.
Spider-Man?
No.
Okay, because a coworker told me I did. It's like I don't want to, but I would if I had to. Also, are we all in agreement that Captain America has to die at some point in the Infinity War? It seems inevitable, right?
I don't know.
Because he's the guy with no powers.
Well, no, it's because I don't know, it just seems like, I don't think they're going to make another Captain America movie. They're probably going to cast a black Captain America coming up. Like, there's all these, I don't know, I think the story is just going away, where
Isn't
Steve
like
Rogers
Tony Stark
will-
not renewing his
look to
contract?
die.
Not Tony Stark. Robert De Niro. Not Robert De Niro. Son of a
Oh my god!
Robert Downey Jr. Can you imagine Robert De Niro as Iron Man?
Man? You're right.
You're
yeah.
talking to me.
I heard that as well.
Oh
you talking to me?
God. Okay, I'm
I would
imagining a
watch that so
crossover.
much.
If like, okay, remember that one superhero
first
movie
person.
where it was like the superhero was getting drunk all the time? Hancock, was it called?
Yeah,
Oh,
Hitchcock.
So
Will Smith.
I'm just imagining like Hancock
Was
in
it
an
Hancock?
Iron Man suit. That would be Robert De Niro as Iron Man, you know, just like drunk and
Drunk.
flying around all
Well,
crazy
Tony
and like
Stark is an
harassing
alcoholic.
women and
There are comics where he flies through billboards drunk in his Iron Man suit.
true.
If we're gonna cast Robert De Niro
That'd be
as
good.
Iron Man, I would like to see Al Pacino as Red Skull or something. Not Red
Wait,
Skull.
no.
Who he
See-
fights? Mandarin?
Iron Man fights. I don't know who the number one Iron Man villain is. They're all just like random
Mandarin,
industrialists in other suits.
He has a shitty
Robert-
rogue gallery.
He does.
Robert
It's
De
other-
Niro would step out of his Iron Man suit and it would just be like a stained, like sweaty wife beater and like tidy
Ew.
whities. That would be the Robert De Niro Iron Man, I
So
think.
he'd be the bad guy from the second movie,
Second movie.
the
What's the second
Whiplash
movie about
guy,
again? Oh yeah. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
He did an okay job, but yeah, stained wife beater. It's the uniform there.
Every time I think of Robert De Niro, all I can think about is the character he portrays in It's Always Sunny. Like that's my
haven't
instant
seen
Robert
that.
De Niro persona.
I don't know why I keep thinking
He has a
Mickey Rourke is
cameo in
dead.
that. That's awesome.
Cameo? Dude, he's like one of the lead cast.
I think you're confusing Robert De Niro with
Oh, you're right. I am. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Okay. See, this is why I don't follow celebrities. I just don't. I don't
Wait,
get it.
what? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has Robert
No,
De Niro?
No,
it does not. No,
it
it
does
does
not.
not.
Oh, okay.
This is just Callie Brain.
I was like,
Having a
is this
moment.
why everybody loves this show so much or something? You're thinking Danny DeVito, right?
yes, Danny
Yeah.
DeVito,
Is the real Detective Pikachu.
which would be
imagine-
also amazing. in
imagine-
Iron Man.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
So I know we had a podcast where we spent way too long talking about who we should cast in a remake of Face Off. We should have another podcast where we talk about who we would cast in a remake of Twins.
I've
The
never
movie
watched
where
that.
Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger played twins.
Oh, I think I watched
I haven't
that.
seen that.
Oh man, it's not good,
Okay.
but it's worth
All
watching.
right.
It's weird. It's dumb.
Like, so bad it's good kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Like
Roger
the
Ebert
typical
gave it a
Arnold
3 out of
Schwarzenegger
4.
flavor.
Yeah. I just like seeing Arnold and Danny on the same screen because they're both very different to me.
The result of a
Obviously,
secret
that's the point of the
experiment
joke.
carried out at a genetics lab to combine the DNA of 6 fathers to produce the perfect child.
It's like, yep. And that got funded. Someone's like, that's the movie that America needs to see. Give it $1 million.
Now a child
give it
mothered by
$18
6
million.
different women.
18. How much did it make? Did it make it back?
200.
Made it back.
They made 200.
Nice. It was a smash.
Yeah. I should watch the movie first, and then we should do the episode. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I vaguely watched it, but I can't really remember much of it.
I would also probably have to rewatch it. But the point is, we should pick people who, unlike Face Off, where they're the same, we're picking people who are opposites.
Okay.
Don't patronize me.
Ryan Gosling and Danny DeVito.
Sure. That's a good one.
Hey, did anybody watch that Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson movie, The Bodyguard? Or
The Bodyguard, I didn't. It got pretty bad reviews.
Oh, fun. The trailer looked funny, though.
It did. It had a good trailer.
Yeah.
Trailers don't count for anything
I'm
these
sure they
days.
took all the jokes
That
into
is
the
true.
trailer.
Like that freaking 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Made it look like a fucking really dark comedy or something, but according to Foe, it's not really.
What? It is a dark comedy.
No, you said it wasn't as funny
Right.
as the trailers made it out to be.
Oh. Yeah, I think the trailer used most of the jokes.
Oh. It's like
Yeah,
2-3 minutes of jokes.
I can't stand when they do that. Seriously, that's why I actually prefer to know as little about the movie as possible before I watch it, because then I can actually
no
take it for what it is.
Hmm.
I don't know who's going to be starring in it. I mean, I barely have a grasp on what that is anyway. But if I don't know who's in it, I don't know what it's about, and I haven't seen like any trailers. I haven't heard anybody talk about it. It's just like, hey, let's go see a movie. I'm like, right on, let's go do it. I just sit down and I just experience it. And let me tell you, if you do that, like do some kind of roulette wheel on Netflix for a movie in a genre that you like, maybe, but just like pick something and watch it, knowing nothing about it, and just like watch it. And it's a really interesting experience. I think everybody should do something like that at least once.
Isn't there a roulette website where you can log into your Steam and like just roll the wheel and it will just give you a random game that you
what
own?
should I play or whatever?
Yeah.
I need that.
Do you have
need that.
do they have that for like a Netflix or something?
I think so.
Probably. I mean, I imagine you could
Yeah.
probably write
It's
some
just
kind
really
of script.
hard to do that because then you miss out on other movies you just never hear about. Like, I don't think I ever would have seen Swiss Army Man if I hadn't seen the trailer for it.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, every once in a while, I think it's really good
Right,
if
it's
someone's
something you
like,
should
here.
do, but it's not something that's easy to cultivate. It kind of just to happen serendipitously. It's like, I never heard of this movie. Let's see it.
Right. Or if
I've done that a few times, and I was pleasantly I pleasantly enjoy whatever I
Yeah.
watched. Can't remember which movies though. A lot of times I just look at a poster and I'm like, ooh, I like that guy. Let's go watch that.
Yeah. I use people a lot too.
Yeah.
I feel bad doing that
use
on
people
Netflix.
as
It's like
well.
Netflix has a lot of movies from like not America, which are probably good, but it's like I don't recognize any of these people. I just don't watch it.
Oh my god. How many little hidden gems are you missing out on?
Yeah. But think how much time I've saved by not watching Netflix. I'll just give up and then go play WoW instead.
There you go. Yeah, so that's
a
why.
much better way to spend my time, obviously.
Yeah.
Is anybody gonna watch Ready Player One?
No.
What is the book's problem again, Fo, that you said?
It's super. So I think the bigger, more like what's the
Pressing
word?
issue?
Like,
Not
so
pressing.
my big issue is not the biggest issue. My big issue is that the book has a ton of lists. So rather than trying to describe things, the author just says it's like, and then lists off 5 or 6 other things. People are like, oh, hey, I like those animes, or I recognize that 90s TV show, but I didn't actually describe it. They just listed a bunch of things. I think the bigger problem is that both of the main characters, probably all the characters, but the two characters I remember, the two main characters, are very Mary Sue. Like, just very idealized and kind of one-dimensional, and there's not a lot of growth character arcs. It's kind of just like our nice guys and our cringe picks kind of crap.
Ew. Holy shit.
That's
a really bad combo.
Yeah, well, those are the same thing pretty much.
Is it just something he wrote to like cater to people who like pop culture references and shit?
I think so. My opinion is it's a deliberately calculated exploitation of the retro wave of.
I'm actually reading a Neil Gaiman collection of short stories book.
Cool.
And I was really enjoying it, and my colleague saw me reading it, and it was like, "Oh, I just finished reading Ready Player One," and I remember what you said about all the stuff, and I was like, "So, do you like it? Wait, hold on. Do you like it or not? Like, what do you think about it?" And he said, "Oh, I like it because it had a lot of things of like it had a lot of things that I grew up with."
Yeah,
was what he said. Yep. I was like,
I think that's a pretty common reaction.
Huh. So it means the book is not that old, right?
No, it came out in like 2014 or 13.
Oh, that's freaking new. And it became a big hit recent. Or something. Oh.
It was a big hit. I think because it's very accessible. It's like it's sci-fi, but it's kind of accessible because it's definitely not heavy. Like rather than describing science fiction stuff, like the most sci-fi it gets is really good VR. That's kind
Did he write anything else previously, or was this like his first hit?
Before that, I don't know. That was definitely his first hit. He has written stuff since then. I mean, it's not the worst book ever. I think it's perfectly fine as like a trashy book. Like if you were in an airport and you didn't know what to do, buying that book and reading it would be okay. But it's not like a classic that you're ever going to want to reread.
Okay.
I mean,
it's an airport book, people.
Like if you, it's better than doing nothing, right?
it's like movies you watch on your flights.
Yeah, like No.
I think
I'd
rather just listen to music on my flight.
Boss Baby. I agree.
I'd
rather
listen to music
Pandora
offline mode.
Don't do the audiobook because the audiobook for Ready Player One is read by Will Wheaton, who I do not care for as an audiobook narrator.
He's the perfect person to read that book, isn't he?
That's probably. You might be right.
It's like there's nobody else perfect to read it. Yeah, I'm gonna go read that book now and tell my colleague why he's wrong for liking that.
I mean, that's when you're wrong to like it. I just think
I'm just joking.
You're probably not self-aware. You're probably easily manipulated and are a sheeple.
Oh Lord.
Stay woke. So yeah. Fuck.
Just every time you're in a circle of friends, and they're gonna be like, "Yeah, I read that book, Ready Player One, or I watched that movie, I liked it," and you're just kind of off to the side, like, meh. What?
Well,
yeah,
I feel like
it was great.
That book to me is kind of this. It means the same thing to me as Big Bang Theory. It's like a nerdy thing for non-nerdy people.
Oh, so it's like you say, it's literally lists. Just list down shit that people like.
It's real formulaic. It's I don't know. If you've never read a book before, it'd be amazing. It's readable. It's not like bad grammar or.
So it's like everybody's first Final Fantasy is their favorite. Just take it up a notch.
Sure.
This is my first book I've ever read, so it's my favorite.
Something like that.
Yeah. Talking about staying woke and shit. You know, there's like a lot of conspiracy theorists on the internet. Like there's forums and there's like YouTube channels and stuff.
Of course.
I actually met a real life conspiracy. I know they exist, but it just blows my mind that people think the moon landing never happened, or like
flat earthers,
flat earth and shit. It just blows my mind to not read it on the screen, but to hear it coming out of a person's face hole. It's just just weird.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
It does.
It's because I don't know how to react. It's like, do I just play along, or I don't think I can fix them. I can't confront them.
Okay, look.
So, I just want to end the conversation.
Here's my unpopular opinion. I don't think the Earth is flat. I think that the moon landing is legit. Like, I think we've been to space and all that jazz. But I always find it really interesting to hear these people's thoughts. And just be like, not in an attacking way, but just like, oh, and why do you think that? Or if I'm on my way to go somewhere, I'd be like, okay, interesting. I'm sorry, I gotta go or whatever. But I see, like, I don't care. Like, what does it matter if they want to spout off about, well, I think this happened this way or that didn't happen? Like, does it matter? Like, does it really affect anybody?
The reason I don't...
It's affecting me. It's making me uncomfortable. Go away.
Well, then walk away. just be like, okay, interesting.
It does affect other
away.
people. Like, people who think vaccinations cause autism or whatever. That's actively harming society.
Okay, but wondering whether or not the Earth is round, how does that actively harm society?
Like, if everybody believed that, we'd never go to space. We would, like, it would, like, teaching that to people as the truth.
Are you sure? Because people used to think,
dumber.
it used to be common understanding that the Earth was
And
flat. We still ended up
stopped.
going into space, but we ended up going into space.
Yes.
It used to, I'm
Because
saying
we
it used to be the
stopped
prevalent
thinking
thought,
that.
but then we went to space. It used to be
And
prevalent
yes.
thought that we were the center of the universe, and then
So you think it'd
that
be
changed.
fine if it became a prevalent thought that went back to thinking the Earth was flat?
No, what I'm saying is that
I think it's bad to not progress.
I believe that the things that we understand the way that they are now are going to fundamentally change because they always have been. Like, people didn't
Yes.
always think you had to wash your hands before you went into surgery. People didn't always, people used to think that draining out your blood was the way to, like,
Yes.
remove,
So
like, evil spirits
if somebody
and stuff.
still thought we didn't have to wash our hands before going into surgery, that would be bad.
Well, yeah, that actively hurts people. But
Yes.
I'm just saying, as far as theorizing, like, oh, I don't think we ever went to the moon. It's like, okay, and? Like, that doesn't... Like, that's not going to become prevalent thought.
mindset to accepting reality, I think.
Okay, but consider this. I think poor mindsets have always existed, but
and they're bad.
the prevalence of exchanging information on the internet and how quickly people can get their thoughts out there, and they have all these platforms and they can group together and become, like, louder as a niche community, makes it seem like it's much more prevalent than it might really be.
Oh.
You get what I'm
maybe.
saying?
I haven't thought about that, but sure.
That's like
I'm just saying, like, don't... Like, I understand, like, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Just walk away from the conversation. Like,
No,
I'm sure there's very few...
they have, like, they don't just
But the
believe
education
in one
opportunity.
what?
Nothing, sorry.
It's like a collection of conspiracies. You don't just
wanna
believe one
normalize it, I
thing.
guess.
Like flat Earth people don't just believe in the flat Earth conspiracy. They believe in all the other conspiracies. That it's like a package deal.
I think part of the reason
That's a
for
big
it is
assumption.
people like feeling superior and, like, being in on the secret. It's like, I know the truth.
Right.
And I think
this-
that's the bigger motivation
And
factor
this
for that.
person is he hosts a thing at a bar. Okay, like every Tuesday, quiz night. He is the quiz master. He literally uses a microphone to spout all of this. He is also somebody who believes school shootings don't happen, and he has said this on the microphone multiple times, and you just never know who's in the audience. You just never know. You might actually hurt maybe somebody who was, like, participating in quiz night that night knows somebody who died in some shooting or whatever. I don't think it's a very... So, I don't know what... I want to participate in quiz night, so I just walk away. I can be there too. But you're on the microphone and just spouting all this nonsense. And it's just like... And especially... Like, flat Earth doesn't hurt people, but the vaccination thing definitely hurts people.
Right.
And,
I'm
like...
not saying that doesn't.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm just-
I know you're not.
yeah.
But it's like saying, oh, I don't think school shootings happen. They're all actors. That's pretty fucked up to say. That's a pretty fucked up thing to say.
Well, there's a distinction between, like, a conspiracy theory, which abstractly I think can be cool as, like, a storytelling device, but then what you're describing is just straight, like, denialism. Which is super not cool. Like, actually, my main problem with a lot of conspiracy theorists, or the reason I don't enjoy them, is they are not internally consistent because they're not real, so they have to break down at some point.
Yeah.
But like one of my favorite comic books right now is called The Black Monday Murders, and it's basically a giant conspiracy theory about how like the world stock market's run on like 4 people who ritualistically like sacrifice like accountants to like the god of numbers, and it's like it's entertaining because it's so
That's
like
pretty cool.
the rules are very plainly laid out and it's very consistent, and like you're kind of like learning how the world works through this completely batshit insane way, but it holds up internally.
So who's the main character? Like somebody trying to...
There's a couple different main characters. You kind of follow... So the American stock market is run by 4 people. The Eastern European stock market is run by like 3 people, and they're kind of trying to merge their systems together. And so you're kind of following like one of the kids, like the 2 kids of like one of the chairs of the American side, and they're trying like to fight who can ascend to sit in like the stone chair or whatever. And then you're also following like a detective who's trying to figure out why all these murders are happening in these weird ways, because like hey, we found another body in a pool of blood with strange symbols written around it. And these people have superpowers. I don't know, it's weird. I've only read 1 trade so far. The second one comes out next month.
Oh, it's super new.
It's ongoing, yeah.
Nice.
It's black and white. It's a really weird art style, but I kind of like it.
Artist
This is
is
just for the
Tom
story.
Coker.
I don't know who that is. I mean, he's an artist, but I don't know what else he's done.
He has made Daredevil Noir.
That's appropriate.
He made Blood and Water, Nightfall: The Black Chronicles,
I don't know those.
Undying Love, Near Death, and then now The Black Monday Murders. Oh, he also made a bunch of role-playing games. Like Tabletop.
Like he artisted for them, true stuff.
That's interesting. So whenever anybody buys or sells, people die.
More or less.
More or less? Okay.
More or less. We don't know all the rules yet. We're slowly piecing them together as we see snippets of like the ritual book. Like every year we rotate which seat we're in. Whenever the stock market drops, whoever sits in the stone chair must pay the blood price, and blah 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 blah. And it's crazy.
Cool. Anything else?
There was the
That's
Fortnite
it.
thing that happened.
You can bring it up.
Yeah, so actually I looked up who the people were so I could be more specific. So the video from the thing is titled Squads with Drake, Travis, and Juju.
Travis.
So I think that's the
normie?
No, that's Tyler.
Oh.
No, Tyler's the normie. He goes by Ninja. I think Travis might be the football player, because one of them, Drake is Drake. Then there was a football player, and there was one other guy. I'm not super familiar with celebrities, but oh wait, it also says Travis Scott. Travis Scott, that's who it is.
Travis Scott.
Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith Schuster.
It's a cool name, Juju.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so they had my number was off. They had over 635,000 concurrent viewers.
Damn.
And,
is that a record of some kind?
Because it surpassed Dr. Disrespect's previous record,
he was a record
non-tournament
holder.
record of 388,000.
Damn.
Or no, wait, excuse me. The all-time Twitch record is held by
Bob Ross?
E-League Major Boston 2018 with over 1.1 million concurrent Twitch viewers.
Is Bob Ross anywhere on that list?
No.
Oh.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he was really high up there. The point being, yeah, so this Twitch streamer played with Drake and a couple others that eventually hopped in. I'm personally not super into Fortnite. Like, I played it for a little bit. I got kind of into it, and then I don't know, like, it kind of shifted,
really?
and I was like,
I thought you were excited for it before it was like, when it was still in announcement phase.
Yeah, I was, and it was cool. But then
what do you don't like about it?
It became more PvP, and I'm not really into PvP.
But I thought it's like a PvE.
Stuff.
There's a PvE. Wait, I thought the main game was PvE, and then it came out like a battle royale or whatever.
Right, and now that's what everyone's playing. And it's like the community kind of shifted, and I played it for a little while. I enjoyed it for.
the PUBG that everyone plays.
Right. It's sort of like the way I think of it is like the quote unquote like Minecraft PUBG kind of like because it's got.
But is that still building stuff?
Oh yeah, you're still building stuff, so you're actively building defenses for yourself, and so people are coming up with these really crazy orchestrations. Like my thing is, when you first start playing a game, you have a chance, like a competitive game like this, you have a chance to grow with the community, so that you're learning on the same curve that everyone else is. But then if you're new to the game and you're stepping in, unless they have some method of like, okay, who's playing with who, let's not put a veteran player with a newbie player. And they might have that. I don't know. All I know is that they got really heavy into Battle Royale, and I'm not really into that. I mean, I know that I'm playing like Dreadnought, which is a PvP thing, but it's
different.
It's slower paced. It's not as like, well, I got to build this thing and there's all this other stuff, and it's very complex because there's different materials that you can do, and then you've got to construct the right kind of thing.
And the player can affect the game in multiple ways rather than being really accurate with a gun.
Right. So it just there's other like let me put it this way. It's not that I don't like Fortnite anymore, but there's other games I'd rather play with my time. So that's
I feel like that's the most... easy to find games in the PvE version?
I don't know, because I haven't played it ever since they switched over to not switched over, but ever since they like introduced Battle Royale and people started going nuts about that.
It's like the number one Battle Royale game. Took over PUBG quite a while ago, right?
And I also have like this weird hipster chord in me that once something goes super mainstream and everyone's doing it, I'm just kind of like, And I don't think less of anyone that plays it. Like if you enjoy it, by all means, that's great. Like that's awesome. Like enjoy it. That's good. But just me personally, when something gets super saturated like that, it tends to also get kind of toxic. So that's another reason that I just kind of instinctively kind of slide away from stuff that gets really popular really fast.
Popular competitive games are always toxic. Look at literally every example out there. Literally every example.
So there's also that. But yeah, so he was playing with this, with some celebrity type people, and I think it's good because it brings more eyeballs to Twitch. But at the same time, I'm kind of curious as to why this happened. Yeah, like exactly, like did Twitch?
This normie knows Drake and a guy named Juju.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just playing Fortnite with Drake and Juju.
Yeah. So apparently the Twitch streamer that this was all kind of like centered around had like gained grew really really fast.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So
was he big to begin with?
It says that between February 22nd and March 3rd of this year, that they gained more than 50,000 subscribers.
Holy shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand.
And 50,000 on Twitch is huge. Because paid subscribers, right? God damn.
And there's different tiers. Like, you can be tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Well, that's affiliate. I'm not sure if it's true for, like, partners as well. I think so, probably. But point being, really famous people got involved, and I think that's awesome that it draws more attention to the fact that Twitch exists, but it also makes me kind of leery because that means that it's going to step towards the YouTube demographic and start to get really bloated and like, so
Is it a good
I'm nervous.
Thing people know about, like, I don't know.
Well,
I'm just wondering how this guy got chosen.
I'm wondering how that guy got chosen. Yeah, and like, is this like a paid advertisement on Twitch's side? How is this going to affect the community of Twitch in general? I'm not saying that, Twitch is this squeaky clean, like little virgin off in a corner, like, oh, there's this wonderful little community and everything's wonderful here. Like, no, there's tons of toxicity on Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just when you get such a wide smattering of people, it starts to feel less
like a community.
Yeah, it's sort of like if you have your regular hangout with like 3 or 4 people at the bonfire, right? You just have your fire pit and you're hanging out, you're just chilling and relaxing, and then more and more people find out about this bonfire pit and it just gets out of control before you know it. Like the local neighborhood people, I forget what it's called, the homeowners association is like, this is out of control, you can't do this anymore, and they fill in your fire pit, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? So it's like, how is this gonna affect the Twitch? How is this gonna affect it? I don't know. Like, is this gonna happen again? Like, is Drake gonna suddenly be like, I think I might stream on Twitch? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. So that's, I'm curious. Like, it's just piqued my interest. It's raised my eyebrow, and I'm just kind of like watching from the shadows. Like, what's gonna happen next?
I find it interesting that even like there are celebrities out there using their celebrity status to just gain a bunch of viewers and subscribers. Really,
it seems
fast.
like easy money.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of them like playing games. Why not just turn this shit on, play games, make money out of it? Yeah. Like Carl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves, he streams on Twitch. Josh Hart of the Los Angeles Lakers, he streams on Twitch, and a lot of people follow them because they're popular basketball players.
Right.
Yeah. And Josh Hart, he's like not really popular, but he has a lot of people because like just word of mouth gets around. Like, oh, there's this dude that is in the most elite basketball league that's playing something that you play. You should go watch, that kind of thing. Right?
Yeah,
humanizes them.
It would be interesting because like there are artists or content creators that if I found out that they were playing a game, then I would probably be interested to watch them play and be like, what is their opinion? Like, how would they react to some of my, favorite games, or how would they react to, I don't know, whatever. I don't think I'd watch my favorite celebrity play Fortnite. Like, there's certain games where I'd be like, nah, but other ones, maybe.
Yeah. Get Ja Rule to stream on Twitch. So yeah, that's all. Unless you want to add anything else. Good place to wrap up?
I think so.
Yeah.
Callie, where can people find you?
So I stream to Twitch as CaliXenon. I'm also on Twitter under the same name, and I'm also on Instagram.
Nice. Where can people find you?
I'm on a lot of places, but pretty much just YouTube.
And Pupunoob in places that's, So yeah, this has been episode 130 of the playonultra podcast. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.